Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome officially to the channel. This is, as you know from the intro, a series where I go into odd gaming accessories or peripherals that developers made to get us more into the game mentally or physically. Today, and sometimes especially in the early days of the arcades, people just did things because, well, why not? That's somewhat the case here because Ron Halberton, part of the arcade engineering at Bally, either prompted by them or on his own, came up with a concept for the largest pinball machine ever made. So today I'd like to take up some of your time and dive a bit into the world of pinball as we look at the largest pinball machine ever made, Hercules. In 1976, Ron Hilberton of the arcade engineering department created a jumbo-sized pinball machine concept for a company called Bally Manufacturing Corporation. Bally made 2 prototypes of the game and called it Bigfoot, eventually deciding not to move it into production. Part of the reason for this was it supposedly had so much vibration that it put excessive stress on the oversized components that they placed in the frame. So much so that it would literally shake itself apart. No joke. Bally would eventually give up on the concept, but Gene Lipkin, an employee of Halbertson's at the time, saw some promise in it, and would eventually be in a place to explore it further as he began working for Atari, who, by happenstance, would end up purchasing the concept from Bally themselves. Atari set Steve Bicker to redesign the machine known as Bigfoot and had Jim Kelly start on the artwork, and by 1979 the game came out under a brand new name, Hercules. It quickly earned the status of the largest pinball machine ever commercially produced, and by large I mean it. This thing stood 7 feet tall, 8 feet long, and 3.5 feet wide. As you would imagine, a pinball machine of the size would need custom parts, and a lot of them. Luckily, they had a bit of an engineering genius on their hands, going by the name of Steve Taylor. He started modifying washing machine solenoids, and yeah, I'm not even kidding here. He used washing machine solenoids to power the flippers, the thumper bumpers, and the slingshots. Given its size, he even had to change out the original pinball for a cue ball. Yeah, a literal cue ball played the part of a pinball in this machine. Even the spring rod was part of a cue stick. He did this because he discovered anything less would just get lost while playing the machine. Not to mention, it could slip under the enormous flippers the thing needed to use given its size. I know what you're asking though, how did they keep the thing from shaking itself apart? Well, that part came down to being willing to spend the money on more shock-resistant parts and reinforcing all the electric connections with stronger materials. Now that the unit was ready structurally, they needed to make it pop for its intended audience, amusement park goers. So, they gave it a vibrant circus color scheme, or as they refer to it, as much orange and purple as you can stand. They even worked in many of Hercules' most famous feats of strength into the cabinet itself, with snakes, Amazon warriors, centaurs, and even a Nemean lion, just to name a few. This was by no means a cheap pinball machine to make, and it stands to reason that not that many were manufactured. In fact, no one knows just how many were actually made, but estimates put it under 500 total. One of the remaining ones is actually available at the Strong National Museum of Play on their Boardwalk Arcade exhibit should you ever find your way there. However, what do you guys think of this one? Is this a cool oddity? Did any of you ever get a chance to play it, and how ridiculous and fun was it to play? Let me know in the comments. However, for now, I'd like to thank you for getting this far in the video and ask you for one last favor. If you could, please leave this video a like. And if you haven't, consider subscribing. That helps me out a ton. For now though, thank you once again, and until next time, happy gaming.